there's no pre-screen, so 3, 2, 1, we're live.
Which bam, it's just like we're there.
We're freaking there, dude.
That's okay. Sometimes it's good to show a little surprise and just drop in.
You know what? I think so sometimes. And so the people are not going to be able to see this. So we're going to hit some NFL picks today.
I'm very excited. We got, was it 3 days?
3 days? However that works.
Days?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thursday's NFL kickoff. And that's
Falcons at Atlanta. All right, Atlanta, I'm sorry. Atlanta at Philly.
Yeah. Carson Wentz isn't playing.
We think.
That's what I read today. That
I read
that out.
I did it. Oh, they read for sure he's gone.
He is not playing for sure.
Okay.
That it's Nick Foles' show.
Which I think is smart, and I think the Texans should pay attention to that.
You're talking about with Deshaun?
Yeah.
I think Deshaun is ready to go.
I don't know. I didn't like him in week 2. I didn't like how he's moving.
Yeah, well, he's playing.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody else. Well, I mean, Brandon Wayne doesn't count.
No. And then so I'm going to hit this because everybody in their fucking dogs are going to see the Patriot stuff and be like, oh, you just don't want him to play because you don't win. No. This is straight up for the record. I think, this is a think, okay? I feel better about Deshaun Watson having his potential to be one of the greats than I've had on any of the other picks that I've had. And I'm like 8 of 9 on picking top tier quarterbacks that are coming out and things of that nature. You know, I think he's got that. I'm really good about seeing mechanics on the field when guys run and play and do that stuff. It was kind of one of the things I did for like a decade. And I don't like the way Deshaun Watson was moving when he was playing in week 2 of the preseason. Now that's still 2 weeks, but it was just one of those. I was like, and I relate it to when Edelman went out last year with his knee.
Right.
Okay. He was doing stuff, and it was just in the warm-ups. And I'm like, well, he didn't look right. I even said something to my wife. I was like, he doesn't look right. He's not moving right. He's not moving right. 6 minutes of game time later, he's out for the season with a torn ACL.
Yeah.
And I felt that same way with Deshaun Watson and how he was moving. I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Well, he's in there.
You know, and I'm like, oh.
So we're going to see what happens. I don't know. There is something about the eye test, right?
Yeah.
If you've watched enough, you can definitely pick up on, or maybe if you're, especially someone, you have a lot more background in that, but if you've done a lot of any type of physical, any type of athletic stuff your whole life, and you're used to watching a lot of sports or whatever, you can pick up when people are not moving their normal selves or something's a little off.
Yeah.
You can kind of pick it up. The eye test will pick that up. And you'll say something like, you won't even know exactly what it is, but you'll be like, something's a little off in the way they're moving. And it's true. You'll find out later, or maybe not later, maybe much quicker.
Yeah.
That, their knee's still jacked up and it just took one wrong movement and it popped again.
And that's most of it. You hear so many injuries are like, oh, there's a season-ending injury in practice, non-contact injury.
Right.
It was injured long before that ever happened. And we know, everybody's talked about that for decades now, I'm just like, and I'll say this. I think the Texans in week 1, not week 10, 11, 12 to 16, in week 1 they're good enough without Deshaun Watson to beat the Patriots. They're at home.
Patriots got some issues.
Well, I don't know. I hate to say issues. They just
offensively.
They do this every year. You're like, who do they have? They have no weapons. They have nothing, and then they light shit up all year.
That's true.
And so I'm like, I don't want to go in the same thing. Like, well, they do it, so I'm not worried.
Who do they have? Who's Tom Brady throwing the ball to?
Well, this week or week 1 because Edelman's out on his the PED thing, right? So you got Gronk. Okay, Gronk's always something to deal with, right?
True.
You got Dorsett, which is lightning fast, but his hands are super questionable.
Yeah.
He drops about half of the balls that are catchable. He drops, right? And you got Hogan, which Hogan is great, but if really all you have is Hogan and Gronk, all you have. You can't say that with Gronk, but you know what I mean, right?
Gronk is right.
If you have 2 legit threats down the road, well, I mean, then you can defend that. You can double team and roll in different zones.
I think the Texans are a lot better this year.
They're healthy. Their defense is healthy.
Right. Texans might be actually, and I never say this, I always feel like the Texans are overrated coming in every season. Like everybody's trying to push them beyond where they're at. I think this year they're actually, and it depends on Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
But this year they're legitimately a good football team.
Yeah.
I think not a bullshit team. Like what were they, 11 wins a couple years ago?
I'm going to say 2 years ago.
But it was such a bullshit 11 wins. It was a horrible. It was like the teams they won against were not very good, or they caught some breaks. it was a hollow 11 wins. You knew they were not an 11-win team. This year I think they could be a legit 11 win team
if they're healthy.
Yeah,
that's
always the question.
So
right?
huge. So it's we can start there.
Okay,
you want to start the South?
Yeah, let's
NFC South.
Let's do that.
AFC South. Flip that. So you've got that thing I pulled up is not correct.
That's awesome. Well, so you got AFC South. You got the Texans. You got the Jaguars. You got the Titans, and you got the Colts.
And the Colts, exactly. So the thing is with the I think Texans are going to win the division.
I don't know.
I think, and this was me coming into it, and and precursors. So here's the deal. So with all my Vegas picks and all my pools and all that stuff, I'm like an asshole with the way I track everything. So I'm like 83% on NFL correct.
That's pretty good.
Which is
that's straight up.
Like 3.5 points under what Vegas does, as far as being accurate. So I'm there. I got it. I'm a little worse in college.
Yeah, college is much harder.
Just a smidge over 80%.
College is much harder. College is not that easy.
Yeah, and now when I say I'm a smidge over 80% in college, people go, "Oh, it's fucking bullshit." I don't pick every game.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In the NFL, I'll pick or do things or bet or whatever. I'm associated with picking every game of the season. So it's I hate to say more accurate, but it's a larger sampling or better sampling. And, but when you've got 120 fucking teams in college.
No, college is way much more difficult.
Yeah, so I don't.
So many teams.
Yeah,
so you have to stick with like top 25 every week. Maybe or expand outside to the big
certain matchups.
Teams in the big conferences type stuff.
And that's so the way I do college, people don't blow up my ass on the. I get that hate, mother shit. I get the hate. So the way I do college is like this week 1, there were only 5 games that I had picked, and I went 4-1. That was great. There were a lot more than 5 games.
Yeah.
If I would have picked, there were a lot of them. I was like, oh, I'm interested in that.
Right.
So there were 5 or 6 other ones that I was interested in.
Right.
If I would have done something, I think I would have missed on 5 of those 6.
Right.
But I didn't. Because I knew I was like, no.
College football snuck up on me Saturday. I was so busy doing stuff, and then I was working out that morning, I think, and then I realized, hold up, college football's on. Like it just hit me when I'm at the gym. I'm like,
they're killing it all weekend in this week.
Football is on. Yeah, and the first weekend's always the best because they're cramming up as many games as they can before NFL starts. So they're like spreading it out the whole weekend. And there's a game on tonight too, as a matter of fact. It caught me off guard, and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta get home, and I gotta watch a little bit." So I caught a little bit of UT versus Maryland because it got delayed.
Oh, that was frustrating as shit.
So I'm going to that game real quick, and I'm a huge UT fan.
Yeah, we're gonna get to NFL stuff. We got to hit a little bit. I know
we're kind of jumping off here because we started talking about college football.
Yeah,
and so watching the UT game, first of all. How long is UT going to continue to disappoint us?
You know what? In the second quarter, I was just like, I told Steph, I was like, fuck this. I'm sick of having a shitty team. And I went to the gym.
I was probably it got delayed. So
and then it got delayed. Yeah.
But like Maryland, all the problems that they're having this year with the head coach having to move whatever. And because the guy died through dehydration.
A series of things, but he was sick and died. Yeah.
And so they got all kinds of problems going on at Maryland. UT's coming in with was it Herman?
Yeah.
From U of H.
Second year.
And this is the second year. So this is the year when his plan's in place, his players are in place.
Top 5 recruiting class.
He's already in the top 25 preseason.
One quick insert.
Not preseason, but
his guys are only last year was like a third of his guys, and this year. It's his first full recruiting class. Right. So in a little bit of defense on him.
So that's true. But college is, you only get these guys 3-4 years.
3 years. 3 years max if they're good.
Right.
Yeah.
So really by the second year, those are your guys that are they're playing now. Yeah. They're the core of your team. And so I thought, and I'm not saying the season's over, but I thought this is going to be a good year. And they fell behind, but then it's like they woke up and they started coming back and playing well. And I like the kid playing quarterback. Actually, I like him. But man,
he's only a sophomore.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah,
he reminds me a little bit of was it Applegate? Was it Applegate?
Oh, Roger. Yeah.
Applegate.
Yeah.
Is that right? Applegate or Applewhite?
Applewhite.
Applewhite.
Yeah.
Why am I saying Applegate? It's so weird.
Watergate, Applegate.
I know. So, yeah, he reminds me a little bit of Applewhite, but Major Applewhite. There you go. But the only thing I will say, I thought the fumble where they lost on that fumble, I thought that was a bad call.
Yeah.
I looked like he regained possession. That should have been it was so iffy. They should not have overturned it on the field. They should have let the call go on the field.
Do this at the end of the third quarter. The game was over 3 hours long already before the weather delay.
Yeah.
With penalties and reviews and this. I don't care who you are. Neither one of those teams. Obviously, I will defend UT more because
right.
Texas. But neither one of those teams could get a rhythm, could get a stride, could get shit going. And then I feel like the trend of the game, if there was no weather delay, I feel like the University of Texas would have won that game.
Right.
It was just, you watch trends and you do that kind of stuff, and and it was trending that way.
Yeah,
Maryland
it was. They were moving the ball, they were scoring.
Yeah.
Maryland was now, they were getting stopped, and I just thought that fumble I thought the refs fucked that up.
They did.
I thought they should not have overturned that, and I think that would have been the difference in the game because I think they were moving the ball.
Yeah, they were chucking it.
They were going to score. They were going to score on that drive, and I think that would have been in the game because Maryland wasn't going to score again.
No, maybe a field goal. They were
maybe.
Yeah, because UT has that, and they do that. Oh, I hate it. That they're soft in that middle of the field, and then they tighten up as they start to approach scoring position.
I tell you, man, I'm not saying the season's over for UT. I think they're a talented team, and I like Herman. He's a really good coach. I do think they're going to be okay. But I thought the Maryland game was perfect for him. I was like,
I did too.
This is up on a tee.
I did too.
Get the season started off right.
And it is not one of the games I would have touched though. Because I was like, there's emotion, there's this stuff, there's unknown,
well,
there's
with Maryland,
awkward play. Yeah, with Maryland on Maryland's
side.
side.
Yeah, there is that. But if UT was playing the way UT is capable of playing, I think they should have won that game. But they didn't, which is that's why you play, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'm sorry. It just occurred to me we were talking about it, and I wanted to talk to you about that. I remember watching that replay, and I was like, no, you can't overturn that. It's too iffy. Like it looks like he regains possession.
Yeah.
And then when he overturned it, I'm like, these refs, why do they feel like they have to make the call unless it's clear?
And this is both. This is both college and pro.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I'm with the I like review, kinda, and then on this one is I'm firmly with Belichick on this one. Okay, so hate me because I said Belichick.
It's okay,
right?
man. I refer to the Cowboys a lot myself.
If you review a play, everything in that play is reviewable.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
I agree with that.
Penalties, possession, the time clock, the play clock. If you're reviewing a play, you're reviewing a play. I agree with that. And people are like, oh, it'll take longer. No, clearly you don't get more review. You don't get more challenges.
They get the same amount of time anyway.
Right.
They got 90 seconds to review the play. So you got 90 seconds.
And so it's it's stuff that you go and you're replaying a fumble, but you see the dude had all fingers in his face mask and almost broke his neck, but it wasn't called.
This should have been called. Right. Then you call it.
You should be able. That should be reviewable.
And that happens, and they can't.
Right.
They can't call that, which is a mistake. I agree with that. I agree with Belichick. Look, love him or hate him, he's on point on a lot of these things.
That stuff is smart.
He's he's on point with that. I'm sure a lot of coaches would agree with that too.
Yeah. But that's a big one, man. That frustrates the shit out of me because it's and the goddamn helmet rule. Okay.
I haven't seen it. Okay, so I've watched preseason spottingly, right?
Yeah. And I'm gonna hit both.
And I did not in any of the games that I saw. I didn't see where the helmet rule came into play.
Okay.
I saw a couple more questionable calls where guys are going over the middle of the field and they're taking a shot, and it's not that they're unprotected. They're going for the ball at the same time that I don't know what a defensive back's supposed to do. I mean, if you're hitting him in his chest or his, in mid-level,
right.
you're clearly not hunting for the head.
Right.
But it's a hard hit while they're going for the ball. I don't know how what is a defensive player supposed to do,
right?
Short of just letting them catch the ball, because it seems like that's where we're headed with those defensive player.
It penalties. Is those what they label as bang bang plays.
That's crazy that they get a personal foul on those when they're playing the ball perfectly.
I know, and it's one of those, and I'm all for player safety. I'm all for doing things to avoid CTE, and all, I really am. I want all that, and every proper tackle in a proper environment should be your shoulders go down, You know what I'm saying? Your head's up. You're
Right.
protected. You see where you're hitting. You put your face mask on their numbers
Yeah.
and yada, yada, yada. Well, what if the person carrying the ball balls up and you're going at them? What do you do? And this was a college game, but the quarterback was going to slide. Okay. I know they don't want launching. Like I'm 50-50 on what a launch is. But the DB was going to tackle and dove head up at about knee, maybe a little bit lower than knee height, before the quarterback started sliding. It looked like he was cutting, and then that other leg just came in and he slid. They wound up getting him on spearing, and he's ejected from the game.
Ejected?
Well, that's how college is. If you get targeting, you're out. You're out of that game. And so in pro, they were like, they had, you know, the rules analyst and things on, and he was saying that I just went blank on his name. He was saying that even in the pros that would have been on the helmet
I didn't
roll.
see it, but
And I'm like, he did launch, but his head was up. Okay, and then as he was going to the quarterback, he's turning his head away from the quarterback.
He's trying to.
Does that make sense? Because that's all you can do. Once you've committed to that,
right?
You can't stop.
Your body's in motion,
right?
Why is there not more focus on intent of the player? Like if the player is not intending to do what the spirit of the rule type situation, right? So the spirit of the rule is to protect the player from an intentional act.
Yes.
Right. Let's say like the ones below the legs and stuff like that with the quarterback.
Chop blocks and all that kind of.
Those things. There's like an intent, like you're intending to hurt a player with that play, or sometimes it's just to prevent injuries because of the play. But let's say the protecting a receiver coming over the middle of the field.
Yeah.
They don't want you spearing. They don't want you head hunting. They want you perfect tackle on the body, meeting at the same time as the ball gets there, or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, so that, or we'll take quarterback slides. Quarterback slides are iffy because sometimes quarterbacks be stretching it. Yeah. They stretch that envelope. They're like kind of like they want to slide a little bit, knowing that they'll get that player to hesitate. And I think that should be a penalty if a quarterback does that. But if a player is not intending, if they're trying to make a legitimate tackle, and they're not intending to commit that penalty. Now, if they do the action and they should have had more control of their body type situation.
Yeah.
But if there's no intent to violate the rule, I think there should be leeway to not call those penalties.
Yeah.
I don't think there is. I think they have a no tolerance policy on some of
these
penalties.
It's literally did the helmet strike the helmet? Was the helmet down? Was it? So it's not a matter of are you trying to back up and avoid it.
Right.
Is did the contact happen?
See, that's ridiculous. Yeah. Because if the things are happening so fast.
Yeah.
Fast.
And I'll say this because a lot of people are going to say, well, how do you know the intent of the player? There's going to be a good number you're not going to know. But there's certainly going to be maybe, I'm throw a percentage, 15, 20% of them that you can be like, that guy was clearly doing everything he could to avoid that from happening.
Right.
You can see it. You can tell in the super slow-mo and all that. So on those, they're not called.
I think the refs should have that discretion.
Yeah.
To be able to say, I don't think the intent was
to
commit that infraction, to do that thing. So we're not calling the penalty.
Yeah.
We're going to let the play go. We'll let the players play, But I think we're just getting further and further away from it. It's a little frustrating.
It's just like,
we're going to see how the season goes because they've added some more stuff.
Yeah.
And
well, it's supposed to apply to the runner, to the ball carrier as well.
It's going to be interesting to see that. It's going to be weird. It's going to be really weird to see ball carriers nailed with that penalty. Like, that's going to be a weird penalty to see called. I think it's going to cause some issues with offenses moving the ball because it's going to that's really going to affect the flow and the rhythm of an offense.
And it's a weird the way it's written and all this kind of stuff, and then there's a lot of ambiguity to it, so a lot of players are bitching about it. But when you're running the ball, if you're running back and you ball up, right, for an impact, so you're not leading with an impact, but you ball up, you don't give the defender anywhere to hit you.
Right. Which is, I think, is completely okay. That's like, I don't see a problem with that.
If you dip your head all the way down and you ball up waiting for an impact, you're fair game, dude. I mean,
I agree. Well, you're like turning into like an armadillo at that point,
right? And so what do we? Yeah.
I mean, but it should be allowed. Like that should be allowed, and the player doing what he's got to do to get the guy on the ground should be allowed. I mean, and these running backs, like it's not like they're normal human beings. Like
I know.
Sometimes I watch these guys taking 300-pound linemen and carrying them on their back 5 yards down the field. And these guys are like 5'10", 215. You're like, what a powerful human being that is, you know? Sometimes getting those guys on the ground is
amazing.
A monumental effort because they're not easy to get on the ground. So I don't know. But, you know, go back to the picks.
Yeah.
So you think Texans win that division?
So I say the Texans. This is my whole deal. Is I like to do this. I've ahead of the game on this one. Between week 2 and 3 of preseason, that's when I make an overwhelming majority of my picks.
That's a good time. That's when you get the most.
You get a good feel.
First team
you know,
snaps
stuff.
And
Yeah,
like that.
and I can always adjust. And you can't always adjust. People get pissed when you say, "Oh, you adjust your picks." Okay, for example, Aaron Rodgers goes down for 8 games last year. 8 games.
Yeah, it was 8.
I think it was 8.
It's huge.
I think it was 8 games. He's injured 8 games. Okay. No, the Green Bay Packers are not the same team without Aaron Rodgers. Shush. I'm going to make an adjustment.
Probably the best player in the NFL, or at least top 3.
Yeah. It depends how you rate it and score.
I think the best
and
quarterback in the NFL. I do.
As a complete package, yeah.
Things I've seen him do on that field, I don't know if I've seen another player. I've not seen another quarterback playing right now do those things.
Right. He's currently, people argue, when you take athleticism and accuracy and all that kind of stuff, you put it together, I think he is the top quarterback from that perspective in the league.
Yeah.
Now, who would I take in their current team? Like not making up a special team.
Right.
I'm a coin flip between Brady and Breeze in their current system.
I thought you were going to say Garoppolo.
Fuck it. Maybe.
Because he hasn't lost a game yet.
Maybe. Shit, it's just too much. I don't have enough, you know?
Yeah, well, we're going to find out about him this year. We're going to find out.
But one of those two.
Yeah.
You know, in their current system, not doing anything crazy in trades and making a special super team, all this other kind of bullshit. But
when you got golf over in L.A. with the Rams, he's impressive. He's going to have a good year.
But it's same thing with him. I'm like, I can't do that kind of one season thing.
Man, he had a hell of a season.
He kicked ass.
But he was expected. He's expected to be good.
Didn't do well when it came down to it, though.
Well, second year.
Yeah, so we'll see.
I don't know. I feel like he's going to have a really great year. I think it's going to be special. Texas. I still think Jacksonville wins that division.
Well, and that's what it is.
I still think Jacksonville wins
the division.
I
picked the Texans and Jacksonville and the Jaguars to be both 9-7, and Texans go on a tiebreaker.
Very much see that. I could definitely
that's my
see
guess. Yeah,
I could see that. I think Andrew Luck. Who knows? I think he's done.
I think he's done. I have not heard one good thing about it.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything good. And Titans are.
It's sad.
Titans are going to be another 8-8 type team this year.
I think they got lucky last year.
Yeah,
and I think
it's going to be a good division though. I mean, it's going to be. It's not going to be for the longest time. The AFC South was like one of the worst divisions of football for a long stretch.
Yeah, they were bad.
And I think this year you got 2 of the better teams in the league in the division.
And I feel like whoever loses on that tiebreak, I feel bad for because they're not going to the playoffs.
Yeah,
and that kind of sucks.
The way it works.
I know, man.
I can even see 10-6. I can see both teams squeezing in at 10-6.
Yeah.
If the Colts and Titans have a really crappy.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of that.
And they just run through I don't know. I think Jacksonville's defense is such a monster, and they were just so close last year to get into the Super Bowl.
I just don't trust their offense. Their defense, by all means, they're going to be.
Their offense does not have to do.
They didn't have
a lot.
No,
run the ball, make a few first downs. Give me 14 to 17 points a game. If they get 17 points a game, they're winning 10 to 11 games.
Yeah,
that's because their defense is that good. They're hard to score.
Damn it. See,
But Texans, man, Deshaun is special. He's a special player. If he comes back and he looks anything like he did last year, he's a special player. Like he makes special plays. He's one of those guys.
He is.
But it could be RG3.
Just be healthy, son of a bitch.
But anyway,
health. All of this is dependent on health.
Let's go to your division. What we got? Let's look at New England. See what they're up against. Nobody.
No,
nobody.
The Pats could go 8-8 and win the division. You know what I'm saying?
That division's terrible.
They're not going. I'm not picking them to go 8-8. I'm just saying they could go 8-8 and win the division.
That's it. Their division is horrible.
It's horrible. Miami got worse. Buffalo got worse. The
Jets
are. Yeah, the Jets are the same kind of. They're not really worse, but they're not really better.
I mean, you never know what happens when the season starts, but those teams didn't make moves to really help themselves.
No, the Bills went down. I mean, so long, so short for the AFC
Patriots
East.
win that division.
Patriots win that division.
AFC West.
Yeah, we'll go
Ooh,
West.
that's a good division right there. Ooh. That division gives me a little bit of a chubby, actually. I ain't going to lie.
There's some really good
Chiefs,
teams there.
We don't know what the Chiefs are, right?
Right. Well, okay, so Broncos, in short, in my opinions, defense got a little worse, offense got a little better. They're effectively they're the
still
same.
A very good team.
Right. They're still a great team. Chiefs,
we don't know.
We don't know. Alex Smith gone.
Yeah, but it depends on what's the new quarterback's name. They drafted him for specifically, and I know I hate myself for forgetting his name right now.
You said that, and my name's right.
Well, he won the last game of the season, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see with him. They're expecting him to be very good.
Yeah.
So,
they've got with their two running backs and their they're lightning fast.
They're a solid team.
Yeah.
Chiefs are no joke. Chargers, they're that team. They kind of, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to be. Raiders are worse. Lost Khalil Mack. They have problems. Raiders got problems. John Gruden is not. It's not a smooth running ship right now.
I don't know. I'm going to say this.
The defense was questionable last year. Now they lost Khalil Mack.
Gruden is a special kind of person.
Yeah, but I hear he's struggling. I hear he is not doing well keeping that team together. Maybe his time has passed.
Yeah, it's very possible.
It's
been
Dick
a while.
Vermeil.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember when Dick Vermeil came back?
Yeah.
And he was special still? I don't know that Gruden is that guy.
I think Gruden mentally and as a coach is there, but as a dealing with these players 10 years later,
right?
It's a different thing, and that's where his.
Has it been 10 years since he coached?
Yeah.
He's been in the broadcast booth for 10 years. I like Gruden. He's awesome.
He's awesome. He knows it. He's got the game. He's badass. But if you don't connect to your players, you're toast.
It's hard. It's a hard thing to do.
I mean, looking
Broncos.
at it is I'm going Chiefs Broncos close.
We'll see. We'll see. Chiefs could definitely step up. And it's killing me that I can't think of the quarterback's name right now. But the Chiefs could definitely step up. They could definitely have a good year.
Yeah.
Broncos, I think, will be solid again for sure.
Oh yeah.
I like the Broncos. I always like the Broncos because I think I like the Orange Crush. I always like the orange jerseys when they wear the orange. I don't know why I like
the Orange Crush. Yeah, those are cool.
Good old days.
But so I mean, if I had to pick right now, I say the Chiefs win the division.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go Broncos with you.
You're going Broncos on that one?
Yeah, it's two out of three we disagree on.
I know.
Wow.
I know. And it's not by a lot.
No, it's the two best
it's
teams.
just sort of. You're like crap. I don't
good.
know. But that one I can see coming down to a tiebreaker, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone in the AFC West is going to hit 10 wins.
I think the Broncos get 10 wins. In fact, I think they probably get 11. I haven't seen their schedule.
Yeah,
they're solid, and I think Mile High is so hard to play at.
That's so true.
They have a huge home. The first game, I'm not even sure they're playing first game, but they're going to win that game.
Yeah,
they almost never lose that game one of the season.
Yeah, and I mean I can pull all the schedules and stuff and all that, but so AFC North, I think the Steelers are in trouble. Bengals, I don't fucking dude. I'd
go Ravens.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
go Ravens
with the Ravens. They're the only one that they're consistent enough from last year to this year. They have a lot of the similar weapons.
Mm-hmm.
They have a couple new weapons.
Good. I think Ravens are going to be another. They're always solid team.
And I think the Ravens are good enough to
Roethlisberger. How old is Roethlisberger now?
I don't even. This is what I'm gonna go out on a limb. I feel like during the season, Roethlisberger is going to retire.
Retire during the season?
I really believe that.
I can see him
get banged up and get a little injury or get a little something and just be like, fuck, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because he's just teetered on it so much and gotten so close.
He's gonna go full time to terrorizing waitresses and
man. You gotta have time for that, man.
Hotels.
You know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ, I hate Roethlisberger.
You can't be
a low human being.
You can't be sexually harassing enough women if you're on a football field.
You don't have time for all that. It's such a distraction. How are you supposed to focus on sexually harassing and sexually assaulting women when you're spending all your time reading playbooks and getting prepared for
efficient.
The Ravens?
You
can't do your job as a sexual predator. I hate Roethlisberger. I'm sorry, I do. I can't believe this is the thing that kills me about sports. And it's across the board is that we see this behavior from these players, and if they're winners, we almost cheer a little bit. We almost cheer for them to get out of the situation so they're back on the field and playing.
I know. I hate that.
And they're doing horrible, horrible behavior.
Yeah, I hate it.
I've been guilty of that before in the past.
I mean,
Not so much now. When I was younger, I was guilty. Like, no, especially with the old '90s Cowboys.
No, when
we
you're
had
younger,
so many drug dealers and
holy crap,
horrible human beings on that team
back then. But when you're younger, you don't know.
Yeah,
you get
now
a little older.
Perspective. Like, oh, that's a horrible person. I'm not cheering for that guy.
You're like, come on, man. Then I'm dealing a little bit of that, like with Winston and his Uber, and you know. And
yeah, that's right. The whole Uber.
Did you get 3 game? I think 3 game.
I didn't even see the suspension, but
I think it's. I will say it's a 3. I could be wrong. I think it was a
3
3 game.
Right.
Yeah. It was just like, come on, man. And then some of the PED shit, like Edelman and
like, you know, honestly, the PED stuff is the least of it. I get the PEDs. I get it. You're trying to perform at your optimal level, so I can understand it. Like, I'm not like mad at you for trying to peak your body to perform at the highest level at your job. Like, I get that. Like, I can totally understand that. You're violating the rules. You're breaking the rules. The other shit is just horrible human being stuff.
These fucking PEDs, dude. Okay, so here's my deal. Just like the helmet rule and just like all of there should be player intent. If you get busted for some PED, right, that's supposed to make you perform at a peak level, and you're in fucking training camp and you're a veteran and you have a guaranteed spot, and you're like, no, dude, here's my supplements. I'm not taking anything. Maybe there's no reason. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's nothing that's going to do to help him in the regular season. If anything, it's going to hurt him in the regular season by taking those specific strains in the off season and at camps and all this. You're like, okay. And then you got to look at levels, and then you got to look at tests. Like, okay, clean, dirty, clean. He clearly wasn't using it for any long period of time. You know, does that make sense? You get it. I just think with all the PED shit, you've got to look at it for what it is.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to get a little more in depth than, oh, it was on the list.
Well,
your helmet touched their helmet. What? Maybe he just drank 3 Red Bulls, okay? His caffeine's high.
If that was the case, I would always fail PED tests.
That's what, you know what I'm saying?
I'd be rolling through some Red Bulls.
And you're like, put a little science in it. Like, yeah, he's over the caffeine limit, but he's also over the limit that's going to make his body perform worse.
Yeah.
So
like when it's no longer when it's counterproductive. Yeah. It's not a PED at this point.
At that point, yeah.
He's just fucking his
but it's in your system. Oh shit. Get that. You know, something like PED stuff.
I know what you're saying.
You know, and I'm like, so I'm with you. I'm picking the Ravens.
I think that's. We never know with the Steelers, but I think Roethlisberger's time's over with.
They got some issues.
NFC East. Shit. The beast of the East. It's a tough division.
So Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, and Redskins. I think you have a lot of wild cards in that division, and there's
so many questions.
It's the most difficult division to deal with.
I think it's the most difficult division to pick.
Yeah, because
the teams, all 4 teams have a lot of ability, a lot of skill players, a lot of talent, and they all could be looked at as being due in a way. I don't know, man. And you could say Eagles are due for some issues. Carson Wentz is.
We don't know.
Not playing week 1 from what it looks like. You don't know what Nick Foles is going to do. He's got he had a little bit of an injury, shoulder injury, right? Yeah. Like, I think it was the second game preseason.
I think beginning of the second preseason. It's second preseason game, but
yeah. And you know Nick Foles. There's a reason Carson Wentz took over.
Yeah.
He's the better quarterback. Nick Foles did a nice job through the playoffs, but you don't know what Nick Foles. I've seen bad Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Everybody forgets there was a bad Nick Foles for a little while.
But the bad Nick Foles was in another team with Jeff Fisher as his head coach, and I don't know, dude.
No, it wasn't Jeff Fisher. It was what's his nuts from
at the Rams, right?
No. Nick Foles was quarterback in the Eagles.
Oh no, I'm talking when he went. Yeah, that last few games, that was
But he
Kelly,
started. He started under that weird dude, the college quarterback, the college guru,
Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly, yeah. So he was, and Chip Kelly was a terrible NFL coach.
Oh man, horrible.
And Nick Foles was under him, and you saw ability with Nick Foles, but Chip Kelly was terrible. I hated that they got rid of him because I was like, oh, this guy sucks. He's killing his offense. He's killing his team. Like the defense has no time to rest. The offense can't get in a rhythm because you're running these ridiculous system.
Yeah,
it's built for Boise State, not built for freaking. It's built for the mountain, whatever. Yeah. But I think. Giants, I don't trust Eli Manning. I just don't. I know they got that exciting new running back that everybody's real excited about, that kid. He could be really good, and then they signed what's his name? Odell Beckham to freaking
Well,
$95 million. Was that what it was?
It was
am I getting that right?
Stupid amount.
He's the highest paid receiver by far now.
So this is the deal. You take the Giants and you put Saquon Barkley in the back. Okay. They had their biggest problem last year was really their offensive line.
Yes, they had major issues.
Right now, they're healthy and they're good. So you make that assumption that they're a stable, above average, not great, but above average offensive line. You put Saquon in the back. Now you've dedicated potentially a corner, right, to having to kind of watch him.
Right.
You've definitely dedicated a linebacker to it, and that defensive end can't just blow, tuck his ears back and blow through. Right. So now, even if he doesn't get the ball, Eli doesn't have,
I know you're high on the Giants. I like
Barkley.
I like Barkley. He's a very exciting player. I think he's going to do good things. I just I don't trust Eli Manning, man. I just think he's been the most overrated quarterback the last 10 years by far. Like I just
him or Flacco. I put them in the same.
I put Eli Manning's worse.
No, he is. He's a lot worse.
Yeah, Flacco's overrated too.
Flacco just had a couple of bad spurts. He's a good
man.
quarterback.
Eli, when he goes bad,
he was
6 interceptions or whatever. I mean, he has horrendous. And when he's on, like it's flashes of brilliance, right? Yeah, he wins the Super Bowl with a ridiculous plays.
Yeah.
And some of it's I'm wondering is it just the people around him making unbelievable plays, like the one against the Patriots.
That's what I was saying.
David Tyree, was that his name? That caught the ball with his helmet.
No,
not David Tyree. It was something like that.
No.
It was some no-name receiver. Not no-name. He was like their slot receiver.
Yeah.
That went in and caught that ridiculous the fourth down play off the helmet. You're like, come on, man. Like,
if you throw that 1,000 times, he misses it 999.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
That was one of the few times I was cheering for the Patriots because I hate the Giants.
Yeah.
But I mean, I say that, but I've seen the good Eli Manning. I've seen him have good seasons and good stretches where he's untouchable.
Yeah.
And Corky can get it done, man.
I mean, Cowboys are going to be what the Cowboys are.
Look, the Cowboys could be. I think I've been watching. I'm definitely, obviously, I'm a Cowboys fan, so most of my focus is trying to figure out what they've got. And I watched some of each game, and I was actually real happy with the first team. I thought the first team actually played very well.
Yeah.
They played like they've been playing together for a little while. You got Zeke back. He'll have a full season and no distractions. And I think they're okay at the wide receiver position. I'm not worried about you, Terrence Williams. Alan Turns has actually looked pretty good.
Austin's back.
I haven't seen him playing. Like I
thought I saw him in the first game.
Did you? No, he's going to be a slot guy. He's going to be their little special guy. They're not going to use him.
Yeah, but he's the guy that sets up second and short, and
he's going to do those little. He's going to be. He's not going to be playing an every down receiver player. Their biggest problem is tight end. They don't have anybody to replace Witten yet, but the offensive line, they've lost Frederick to autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
Now they're keeping him on the roster, so they seem to think like they may be able to solve this year.
They didn't put him on IR or anything. He's still
they're keeping him on the roster.
Okay,
so it makes me think whatever information they're getting, he may be able to play later this year. So, but their offensive line is solid across the board. So even though they're losing him, Travis Frederick. I don't know who's taking his place, but they're so well anchored everywhere else that I think they can kind of handle it. So, and the way they're going to play, I don't think they're going to be. You're not going to. Well, Hearns has the ability to go deep. Austin has the ability to go deep.
But we know the deep game.
They're a run. They're a ball control.
You can be. I'm gonna relate this just because I watched them the most. But with the Patriots, they were the least deep thrower, deep threat team in the league of all teams, and they still were number 2 in scoring in the league.
Yeah, you don't have to throw deep to score a lot of points.
So people are like, oh, there's no deep threat.
It's that ball control. If your defense can get the ball back quickly too, and you just start killing the other defense throughout the game, you start hitting those chunks. That's when you see, you just running the ball. 15, 20-yard chunks start to just pop up, right? Because the defenses are they're toast. They can't. They just get road graded.
Exactly.
And then when they just overcompensate, that's when you see that. Blop.
I know.
So I think the Cowboys are really, really good. I'm going to say this much. I want to pick the Cowboys to win the division. Obviously, I do, but I feel like it's my bias telling me this. Even though I feel like they're going to be a good team, I don't think it'll be the Giants. I don't think it'll be the Redskins. I'm going to say I'm going to take my bias out of it, and I think Eagles win the division with like 11 or 12 wins. I think Carson Wentz comes back and does what he's been doing. He has another near MVP season. And then I think Cowboys squeak in at 9 or 10 wins to get a wild card. And then Giants or Redskins bring out the back. That's my prediction.
I'll say this before I pick. I'll say this. I don't think anyone in that division sweeps any team in that division.
I agree with that.
They're all going 500 against each other.
Yeah.
Barring something weird and all that stuff, but like when you do it, that's gonna, and then that makes it hard because that's a guarantee. There's 3 losses right there for every team in the division. Does that make sense?
Potentially.
So when you break that up, if that stands true, that's also 3 wins. But I'm just saying that's 3 of their losses, and I'm just like, shit, man.
They're playing the AFC South, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at Jacksonville's tough.
That's what I'm saying. So
Texans are tough.
If you go 4,
Titans and Colts.
Nah, they got that.
No, I think those teams will handle.
So it's whoever can go 3-1 against them.
Uh-huh.
I think wins the division.
I agree with that.
And the way I look at it, people are gonna shit on me. If I were to rank them 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm gonna go Redskins, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants.
So you think Eagles will take a big drop? Wow.
I was saying I was saying this before the Super Bowl last year. I'm like, they're just not set up. They're not right with that. Peterson's a great coach.
He is.
People don't hate me for it and all this stuff. And I've got some Eagles fans and all these things. They are not going to suck.
All right.
Does that make sense? I wouldn't be shocked if they pretty much all end up 9-7. And
you have to take into account it's a really tough division,
Yes.
and then they're playing another good division.
Yeah.
Pretty decent division.
Yeah.
You have 2 really good teams.
You could easily, if you split this division, you split the other division, which is very good. That's still good. It's still 5 losses right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it adds up real quick.
So then you're like best case scenario.
You
get 11 wins. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And everybody has one shit game in the year, right?
Everybody loses a game they should not have lost.
Exactly.
Every time.
So you drop there, bam. Now they get 6.
It's a good point. It's gonna be very interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
And we'll find out a little bit Thursday.
Yeah.
Because Eagles playing Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta's gonna be good. Matty Ice is always good. They're always a good team.
They're never a shitty team.
No, they always put up lots of points. Yeah. If you blink, 40 points.
And if they get that defense clicking again, because they had some awkward injuries last year and it wasn't like they had anybody out for a long time, but they had it like everybody wasn't there,
right?
But 1 or 2 games,
right?
And so they got they're gonna.
I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be. We'll see. We'll find out a little bit about the Eagles Thursday. I'm very excited to watch.
So you're going Eagles to win.
I think Eagles. They're good. Like as much as I hated them last year, they're a really good football team. I think. Yeah. But I see your points. I'm going to stick with Eagles to win the division, and I don't think the Giants or Redskins are going to be that good.
You don't think?
I don't. I think Eli is not going to be that good. I think Alex Smith is kind of on the back end of his career, and Redskins are such a dysfunctional organization. I think they've had talented teams. Over the last 2 years. They've had some very talented teams.
Kick-ass defenses for sure, but
they're so dysfunctional that it bleeds into the team and it bleeds into how they play on the field. And I think that's. I think you're going to see that again this year. I just
feel like Alex Smith wants to go out with a bang.
I don't think he should have picked the Redskins.
I don't think so either, but I think he's the one that gets them those 2 extra wins compared to last year.
Yeah, we'll see.
But fuck, I don't know.
You might be right.
We'll see. Man.
I just don't trust their leadership, man.
No.
Here we go.
These guys go nuts.
Yeah, no.
Hey, NFC West. So Cards, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks.
49ers are X factor with Garoppolo.
Yeah, I think with what they have with him, I'm going to pick the 49ers to win the division.
Ooh, over the Rams.
It was in his Garoppolo's 4th game last year. I was like, barring some stupid trade-offs or something crazy happening in offseason, they're going to the Super Bowl this year.
Wow. Man, you got a love affair with Garoppolo.
No, that was their piece, man.
He's a good quarterback.
I don't think he is. I'd probably put him 6 or 7, 8th, 9th, maybe in quarterback rankings.
Still really good.
Which is still really good, but he's not there.
We're going to find out more about him this year because now he's exposed.
Yeah.
And it's not exposed like his faults, but what I'm saying is there's tape.
Yeah.
They've seen him in live games. They know what his strengths and weaknesses are. So now I think defensive coordinators will have an opportunity to be able to better defend what he does well, and maybe try to exploit things he doesn't do well if they have a good defense.
I think he is the new coming of Montana to San Francisco.
Whoa, you are just all over that Garoppolo dick. You are loving Garoppolo. Speaking of Joe Montana, and not to interrupt you, so we were in Vegas 2 weeks ago. Shit you not. So we were staying at the Palazzo at the Venetian, which I don't know if you guys know Vegas. Palazzo is basically connected to the Venetian. It's like the same hotel. So we were downstairs and we went to a sports memorabilia shop. They had a really nice one, right? And then I saw a sign that said Joe Montana will be here between 1:30 and 3:30. Looked at my watch at 6:30, and I was like, I missed Joe Montana by 3 or 4 hours. Just weird, man. Anyway, it was just funny you brought up Joe Montana, and then Lisa's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, you're like, come on, just one of the greatest quarterbacks.
I'm not saying he's gonna go win 4 and 5 Super Bowls, right? But I just don't think.
You think he's there next year? You think he's
He's going to be that good.
I
think he's going to be that good. Yeah. The way he reads and slips and studies and things of that nature. I think what he learned under Brady, not from a skill set because they're different quarterbacks, but on how to study and what to study and what's important. I think he clearly took it to San Francisco, and San Francisco was they were
broken.
Yes, I was just like, how do I not just beat the whole damn thing? They were in a really bad fucking place.
Yeah, for years.
And he comes in, and it wasn't that they just won 6 in a row, or the 5.5 he played. Does that make sense? Because he started on 5. It was what you're hearing from the staff and the players about it. Yeah. He was coaching from the huddle. Yeah. He was doing things. He was already that far into it, and I'm like,
look,
okay.
You're not the only one that is loving Mr. Garoppolo. Sports radio is a buzz with him.
He's like, man.
And I agree. I'm excited to watch him play to see how the season goes. And obviously, I wanted him to win Thursday. But
well, of course. But I think
goddamn Eagles.
I'm going to pick them to win, but I think it's a race between them and the Rams.
I think the Rams are very good. I think the Rams are very good. They are very close to a Super Bowl.
Shit, yeah, they're right there, man.
Yeah, they are, man. They got an exciting offense, man. Yeah. Those guys can play. So it's going to be a fun division to watch. I'm going to stick with the Rams. I think they are so good.
Which is not bad. I mean, it's far hard for me to say, like, I totally disagree with you. I'm just like, it's a race.
I think Garoppolo, every time I get excited about a quarterback, the first few 5-6 games or whatever, and then it's like, okay, well, let's see what really happens now, because it's like, okay, yes, they're good. If they're good for that many games in the NFL, well, they're good. They got talent. But let's see how they react to the adversity, because now defensive coordinators are going to start doing different things to them.
Yes.
And these guys are all so good at that level. So let's see how they react to their strengths being.
And everybody says the season doesn't really start until week 4.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, it starts. Everything counts. But as far as like scheming and getting,
now your teams are. You are what you are, because Bill Parcells would always say, "You are what you are." But he was talking about like at Thanksgiving. Yeah. You are who you are at Thanksgiving. That's it. That's the team you have. So I agree 4 games, because you kind of have an idea after 4 games. Okay, we know which teams are headed and which teams suck. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and you get it, and not to throw hate to the Cards and Seahawks, but. They're just
Seahawks. They still got Russell, and the Seahawks are still a good team.
They're not going to suck. They're just not.
I just think that division, they're behind those 2 teams.
Yeah, they're toast, man.
Cardinals, they're not going to be that good.
No, yeah. So NFC North.
So Bears got Khalil Mack. Do you think that makes a difference for them? Obviously, it makes a difference on defense. But do you think it's a difference maker in that division?
I'm out on Khalil Mack. Okay, so when Khalil Mack was at University of Buffalo, I was like, take him first. Number 1, right. Give a shit. He is it. Take him. Then he got traded away from Buffalo because Buffalo drafted him. Right. And I was like, that's weird, because he's on a rookie contract. You got him for pennies. You're not paying a bunch of money to keep him. You're not any that kind of shit. So I'm like, why did he get traded? Then it's a team 5th option on his contract this year, and he holds out the whole time, and no contact with the head coach. And he goes, I'm like, is he a poison?
Maybe.
Like I got that sprinkle of that. I don't know. I'm not saying he is, but he's like,
a hell of a player though.
He's badass, dude.
Hell of a player. It's funny he goes to the Bears too. Like that's a good fit for him. Packers though. Vikings. God, how can we forget about the Vikings? what they did last year.
I'm straight up. I'm picking the Packers.
Yeah, I can't pick against Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers
is healthy. They're a Super Bowl threat.
I'll say this, because of his contract and doing what it is, they have to win this year.
Well, isn't he now the highest paid quarterback?
Highest paid player ever.
Is he the highest paid player now?
I believe.
Yeah, he just signed a ridiculous contract.
With his bonuses, he's like at a little under 20% of their salary cap. 20%, right? And there's a little wiggle there because it's like, is it this or is it that? Is it 171 million or 100?
He fucking deserves it.
He deserves it.
If any player in the NFL deserves that contract, it's probably Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. And his guarantee part, I think, is like 17, 18%.
They're a threat. They're always a threat.
And I'm like, so and this is why I say that, is when you do that to your team financially and you don't have a lot of draft picks hit up. Yeah. This is it.
Oh yeah. This is the last one. Well, he's, I mean, gosh, what season, what year is he going on? It's got to be.
Oh, crap.
I can't even. I didn't even look at that. I can't think of when he.
It's so hard because he's set behind Favre, and then I'm like, shit. And I think it's 12.
Yeah. So he's at the very end of his career, probably. Yeah. And so, he knows. He's like, I think Aaron Rodgers is just so good. He's just so good.
I'm just,
I like the Packers for sure.
So I'm picking the Packers. And I'm like, the Vikings are going to be good.
I think the Vikings are a threat for the wild card for sure.
Yeah. The Lions, I mean, I love Matt Patricia, but he's inheriting a really shitty situation.
Yeah. I mean, you got, what's the name of quarterback? The Dallas
Stafford.
kid. Yeah, Matthew Stafford. Yeah. He's really good, but he's got that.
I think he's emotional.
Yeah, he lets that enter into it. You can see it. Yeah, just make an emotional play.
If he wasn't emotional, I think he'd be a top 5 quarterback.
He's always had the ability. Like when he's on, he's just very good, very Brett Favre-ish. Yeah, we're talking about the Packers. But and again, he's kind of towards the end of his, like, physically, because he's had a lot of injuries the way he's played. He's had some rough years getting the crap beat out of him back there.
Oof, yeah, poor guy.
So
but and Bears,
it's Packers division.
Yeah, Packers. I'm like, you can't even mess with.
Yeah, I think the Vikings actually kind of have a little bit of a letdown this year. I thought actually they're good, but I thought they played a little above their abilities last year.
Yes. And I think with the quarterback stuff and the things going, people didn't know exactly how to plan against them, and it was just an awkward, unique thing.
And because they got what's his name from Case Keenum.
Yeah.
And we've seen him here, and he was U of H, and he's good, right?
He doesn't suck, but
he doesn't have a cannon of an arm. Right. He's not making. He can drive, like I said, drive the bus, as Bill Parcells would say. Yeah. He can definitely drive the bus, but anything less than an optimal situation, he's not your guy.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I think I actually kind of like you were talking about the Philadelphia Eagles coming down a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings come down.
I think they're going to come down more than what the Eagles are going to come down.
They may not even. Actually, I take it back. They may not even make the playoffs this year. When I think about it a little bit more.
It kind of just depends. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I think they'll be on the cusp. But
I mean, they're not really bad.
Yeah.
I think they're going to fall. They were close to the Super Bowl last year too.
I know, man. So close. I think the way they got to the championship game,
it was just weird. It was a weird season for them, but it was exciting.
I'm like, oh man.
So here we go.
Okay, last one, NFC South. The tricky man.
This is a tricky one because you still got Cam Newton at Carolina.
Yeah.
Who Dallas faces week 1. People picking against my Cowboys. They're wrong, sir. That's another story. So
I feel the same on this division as I do with your Cowboys.
Yeah, it's a weird division.
I don't. The Buccaneers, I just don't think are there.
I don't feel like it's there.
Not really in there.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get beat up by the other 3 teams in their division.
This is a tough division.
And,
that's a brutal division, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Falcons. I think Matt Ryan is he's just really good, and I think their team is good, and they score a lot of points. I don't think they win the Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl this year. I don't see that, but I think they're just a really good team, and they're just more well put together than the other 3.
And that's if I were to rank them as they're going through, I was going to pick the Falcons, put the Saints second, making the playoffs still.
Yeah.
And then Carolina will go third. And obviously the Bucs.
Yeah, Cam Newton, I don't know what to think of him.
I think that one year when they got to the Super Bowl, I feel it was kind of like the Vikings last year. It just things kind of clicked right, and a few balls bounced right their way.
Yeah.
And people are gonna, you get the hate. I don't feel like they deserved to be there. Does that make sense?
Cam Newton is very Michael Vickish to me. Like he has all these amazing physical abilities, but it's just not. He's missing. Maybe it's the mental area. I can't put my finger on it. he doesn't always put it together right, and he's
like,
a very emotional player
yes,
too.
Super. And it's like this. Running and doing those flashy things like he does and like Vic does and like some of the other ones. We're just using those two, so we don't go in a long list of them. But those are cool to watch. They're exciting, and you get on ESPN highlights.
Yes.
So you get looked at a lot. So you get all this sort of fake bubble lift.
Yeah.
When you do the ugly things,
those
that's when you win.
The games. Oh,
no, ugly
like
things
make the ugly mistakes.
No, not ugly mistakes. But we do the ugly things like check. Gosh, throw it out. Don't try to run.
So let's do this, and because why not?
Yeah.
We'll look at Carolina and Dallas coming up to play, right?
Yeah.
Let's look at those two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, Cam. Those are two completely opposites.
Yes.
As far as the way they portray themselves, as far as the way they play the game.
Yeah.
But I would say they're also similar in if I was ranking quarterbacks. I
Yeah.
would put
If you were
them
to
close
give
to
them a
each
value.
other. I'd put them close to each
Yeah.
other ranking wise.
Yeah.
But they play the game completely differently. Dak Prescott is not trying to do too much.
Right.
He's staying within his. I think what you're seeing, you're going to see him stay within what he's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
If play breaks down, he's going to throw the ball away.
Yeah.
If the receiver's open, he's going to hit him.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to hand the ball off a lot to Zeke. But I think you're going to see he plays within his capabilities very well. Like he knows his limits and he stays there.
Yeah. Which
makes him as successful as he's been.
I'm gonna interrupt you on that. I don't think it's a matter of he knows his limits as far as his ability, because I think he could run like Newton. I think he can run like those guys. I just think he's smart.
That's what. Well, I don't know if he has the wheels
like. Does that make sense? Like
Cam Newton has.
Well, I mean, he's
smaller. He can scramble. He's done it. We've seen him scramble, make big plays. But Cam Newton makes his paycheck off those scrambles and broken down plays. He does not make his paycheck off that arm. Like he has a cannon,
but it's not
accurate.
Yeah,
and he doesn't, and I don't think he sees the field all the way.
No,
like he's not hidden. Like
he's ready to run every play.
Yeah,
I don't feel like he's.
And I don't. I mean, I know, but like I would say, yeah, he's not trying to go to his third option. Like his second option, he sees a hole. That's 6 yards. I'm gonna take it, which is not bad. It moves the ball.
It's not horrible, but you get beat up and you get
and then the fumbles come. Yeah. The little things start to pick up. But I think if you look at those two guys, you see two completely different styles of quarterbacking, and it'll be fun to watch them play each other because I think they're actually I think their teams are kind of they're almost a little similar. Not similar teams. They play differently, but as far as power rankings, if you were power ranking teams, they were probably right now. I haven't looked at the power rankings. But I would bet you they're within a couple of each other.
They're really close. I'll say Dallas is going to win that game.
Yeah, they're not favored to win.
Yeah, I know.
But
I think
I agree with you.
2.5 or 3.
Yeah, it started out higher.
Yeah,
but the line came. People like what? So they start betting on Dallas, which would be a smart bet. I think that's why you're seeing that. Line drop. I think Dallas wins the game too. I think it'll be a good football game. But I think Dallas. I think because last year they had a weird year.
Yeah, but their power ranking is skewed.
I agree. I think after a couple games, they're going to jump back up to that top 10. Because without looking at it, I know they're not in the top 10 power rankings, but you'll see them in there within a couple games. Is what my belief. I don't know who they're playing week 2, but I think they're going to beat Panthers.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to beat them there. Yeah, so we're both saying Atlanta for the South, and I'm putting Saints number 2 making the playoffs.
I'm not going to disagree with you there. Drew Brees and that dude's. He's getting old, but he still puts up. He's still amazing to watch.
I want so bad. This is just my own thing. I want a legacy Super Bowl. I want Brady Breeze.
We've been wanting that for a while.
I was like, I thought we were going to get it last year.
Yeah, I did too.
Until that last second fucking play, assholes.
That was crazy.
Not that the Saints probably could have beat the Eagles, but I think they had a better chance.
I'm not saying they couldn't have. Breeze
had a shitload better chance than the Vikings did.
Yeah.
Clearly.
That was a crazy play. That should never have happened. Clearly. That play should never have happened.
Can we go back and change that?
That should have never happened. Like I saw that the other day. As a matter of fact, they play that play all the time now. Anyway, I think it's gonna be a fun football season. I think there's a lot of and the NFL has done a good job with this. Is making teams even, giving all teams an ability to put talent in a competitive football team on the field. It's creating a nice playing. You got a couple teams are better than everybody else, but they're not so much better that's like, oh, they're untouchable.
Right.
There's no untouchables.
I don't think we're going to have a winless team this year. Okay.
I don't know.
I would be shocked if we were a winless team.
I don't know.
Nobody's going undefeated.
No.
I mean, nobody. I'll be and I said this even, after the Super Bowl last year, is I'll be shocked if anyone wins 13 games this year.
I think at least one or two will win.
You think?
I think so.
Dude, I just
there's
don't know
always
if
there's always a couple that are right there.
Yeah.
That they're just hitting it,
And that's where it just kind of happens, but
yeah.
I don't think it was this way. If every team played 100% every week, so take away those last couple of weeks where people do stupid shit.
Yeah.
I just feel like nobody's good enough to win 13. I think it's as balanced as we've seen in a long time.
I mean, yeah, when you look at each now that we've looked at each division, I mean, I could see maybe the Packers.
Yeah.
Because their division they're way above everybody in that division, I think.
That they probably have the best chance?
Yeah. I would say Packers have a chance to run like a 13-14 win season just because they're so much better than their division. And I don't know who the AFC division is they're playing.
And I'll say only because I think you have 6 guaranteed wins with the Patriots. The Patriots may have a chance.
Is that the division they're playing, AFC East?
No, they're going south.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because I'm like in their division. Oh, you're
talking about the Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots in their division.
The Patriots, I'll never discount the Patriots. As long as they got Brady, Belichick, and that evil duo, I'll never discount them because they every year you think, oh, they're going to have a down year, and then they're dropping 30 and 40 points each week, and you're like, where are they? How are they doing this?
They went 0-2 again last year, out of the gate,
but then it just clicks,
and then they go, oh, destroy people. I'm like. Yeah. I don't fucking know.
That's right. Last year, everyone's like, "Oh, the Patriots on the way down," and then that's so quick.
So I think the Packers have the best chance to get to that 13
Packers,
wins.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the Patriots, not because I don't think they're as good as the Packers.
Their division.
I just think their division sucks so bad. I mean, barring some stupid shit, that's 6 wins.
I'm just trying to see who their NFC division is they're playing.
They're playing Houston.
But their NFC, like the
NFC side. Yeah, they play the Packers.
Yeah, but I think they play the Cowboys too. So I'm not sure because there's always like at least 2 games in there. You play your division, you play an opposite division, and then there's usually like 1 or 2 games in there that are just.
Yeah, I gotta take.
Like they're not based on division. They're based on I guess whatever.
Yeah.
Past season's record. They try to set it up.
So Chiefs, Bears, Packers.
So they are playing. Okay,
Titans,
so they're playing the Packers division.
Steelers.
So look, that's.
They're set up. They're set up to win 13.
They are.
And again, I don't want people give me shit. Not because they're that good. They're not.
Those other teams are not as good as they are.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So you could see a Brady.
Brady Rodgers. I like that too. That's a good one.
2 of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. It's a quarterback-driven league. If you want to know who's going to go to the
Brady
Super Bowl,
is not the highest paid quarterback. He's like.
What's he paid? Well, he was at one point.
The last contract, the last.
Well,
contract,
I guess. Yeah. Well, okay, but we'll say that
he's like. I think
by now he's dropped down quite a bit.
They were showing all this. I'd made a damn meme on it like that. So it was. I think he's like the 18th or 19th lowest paid in the NFL,
or just in the NFL in general.
Quarterbacks in the NFL.
You can't be 18th paid quarterback. That's insane.
Okay, so keep talking. I'm gonna pull those up while we this.
Probably should finish on that because I gotta go take my brother out to dinner tonight.
Hey, how would I do that search?
I would just put like NFL quarterback salaries.
Yeah, there we go.
I would have thrown up a 2018 on there because otherwise you'll end up with like 2012 pulls up for some reason. It's like, I don't want to. Why did you just randomly give me 2012, Google? That's not what I was looking for.
They, how they do all that kind of bullshit.
What do they call it?
It's
our code. We don't have any control over what comes up first.
So we're just gonna assume that they're gonna give this to us
over the cap. That looks like it's probably got a pretty good breakdown.
So it's way down here.
Where's he at? What number?
Shit.
It looks like 12, right?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16th.
Oh shit!
16th.
Let's look at who's ahead of him real quick.
Do it.
Curious. So we got Aaron Rodgers, number 1. Which go up.
Go from him up. So right above him is Rivers.
Cam Newton, which is crazy.
Oh, sorry, Cam. Yeah. Then Rivers.
Okay, he took a huge contract recently.
Exactly. Eli Manning is above him.
Okay.
Roethlisberger.
Okay.
Russell Wilson. Flacco. Alex Smith. Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck is still, at this point, he has not had a new contract.
No. That's
Drew
how much he
Brees.
was back then.
David
Brees,
Carr.
yeah. Matt Stafford.
Oh, my God. Jimmy
Kirk
Garoppolo.
Cousins. Kirk Cousins with the fucking Vikings is the number 3 paid quarterback in the league.
He's not even, is he starting?
Yeah, he started.
He's over. That's crazy. The Matty Ice.
Yeah.
Which he signed a huge contract a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
No shit.
Like,
Can you get that?
Bananas right there.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? He's got the.
Get this. Blake Bortles is less than $1 million off of him.
That's sad. Andy Dalton is right there
Yeah.
by him. Andy, Katie's own, by the way. I think he went to Katie High School. Andy Dalton.
Can you believe that, dude? That shit is insane.
Sam Bradford's still right up there, right below him.
And when you go guaranteed money, so when you go guaranteed money, no, he's the same, guaranteed.
And then
Okay.
it works out.
Yeah.
And that's
I was like, what the shit?
but you know, he got his girl makes a little bit of bank, so
He's not
probably
worried
not
about
that
money,
worried
yeah.
about it.
Well, he's got bonuses. This does not include
Yeah.
bonuses, okay? When
He's made a lot of money over his career.
Yeah.
Like he signed, because there was at one point he signed like the largest contract at some point, didn't he? I know he did. He signed like for largest in it. For
I want to say it was like 2007, 2008.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
God, I'm old. I'm so old.
Do you remember it's 2001 or 2 was their first?
You know how old I am? We were watching, speaking of football, so I don't know if you remember this movie. It was with Kurt Russell and Robin Williams. And I got home and I'm sitting there, Lisa's sleeping in bed. So I'm like, I'm not ready to go sleep. So I'm clicking channels. I'm like, oh, I remember this movie. It was really cool. I was like, I wonder how long ago it was made. And what it was is, I don't know if you remember, Robin Williams, Kurt Russell. Like Robin Williams wanted to he dropped a ball he should have caught in high school.
Oh yeah, and he had like a
and
year
like
of
his
eligibility or
life
some
went to
bullshit.
crap.
Yeah.
Well, his life went to crap afterwards. Like he hasn't been successful in anything since then. It's always haunted him, dropping the ball he should have caught that would have won in whatever state championship game against their local rival or something. But I was realizing, man, Robin Williams and Kurt Russell like really young. So I click over to see what year it was made. It was made in 1986.
Oh shit!
And it just hit me like, I remember loving this movie. Like, how fucking old am I? I was 12 when that movie came out. So I was a kid.
But still,
But I remember it like, I didn't remember being 12. I thought, I'm like 20. Maybe 18 or 17 when that movie came out. But even still, I was like, fuck, I'm old. So,
holy crap!
So when you say 2000, 2008, I'm like, yeah, I just remember it was just a couple of years ago. He signed that huge contract.
It was like a 17 or 19 million back then.
Like that's like 10 years ago now.
Because it was the highest, and then it was like a few weeks later, Peyton Manning signed his, which then was higher.
Peyton Manning.
And it was
I remember that. I was remember they were going back and forth, and who was the best quarterback. And,
yeah. He got paid more, but then he got paid more. Fucking shit. That drives me crazy, man. Yeah.
All right. Let me go.
So you got to do this. Who's your Super Bowl?
Who's going to Super Bowl?
Yeah, who's going to the Super Bowl?
Oh my God, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Packers, and I gotta go with something a little different. AFC. I'm so tired of seeing the Patriots in the Super Bowl. To be honest with you, I can't. I'm just it's getting old.
I'm not against you, man.
Let's see. Who we got in the AFC? I would go. I kind of like the Rams too, but no, we'll go Packers, and then we'll go. God, who else is there?
I know.
Jacksonville. We'll go Jacksonville. Let's say Jacksonville's defense takes them to the Super Bowl.
Holy crap!
We're gonna be underwhelmed with our Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
Jacksonville and Green Bay. I'm saying it.
Okay. So on the NFC side, I think you're going to end up. Generally, the two best teams are going to be the 49ers and the Packers.
Okay.
Because I said this last year, I have to go with the 49ers.
Yeah.
Right now, today, I feel like the Packers would get there. They're in front, but I got to stay with my bet.
Not a bad pick. Well, that'd be a big jump though from sucking to the Super Bowl within a couple of years.
It happens.
Oh, it does for sure.
I mean, it happens. It's happened.
That's a strong pick. Well, you know.
It's happened.
What if it's 49ers
times,
and Jacksonville? We'd split it 50-50.
Man, and I'm like, on the other side, I'm just like,
NFL will be so mad if it's 49ers and Jacksonville.
And it's just the AFC. Okay, I'm going to say this. I think the Texans are going to do stupid shit with Watson, and that's why they're not going to go to the Super Bowl.
I just don't think they're there yet.
Right. They're just not.
I don't think Deshaun's there yet either.
No, I don't think they're there. So I think it's going to end up probably Patriots and Jacksonville in the championship.
You might be right.
And then because I'm going to assume, because I don't think either one of them are doing stupid shit right now, that I think the Patriots will go not because they're the better team, but because they're going to outcoach the Jaguars again.
Well, Belichick pretty much outcoaches everybody.
I think that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah. I'll go Jacksonville. I think that defense is just going to be a monster this year.
So we're not far off.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
we could be completely
huge.
off.
I mean, shit, injuries and all this other kind of crap could happen, and all.
Could be Andy Dalton, our local Katie's own Andy Dalton, taking the Bengals to a Super Bowl. It could happen. We don't know.
Yeah, the Browns could make it.
The Browns, yeah, they got what's his name? They got what's his name from Oklahoma?
Yeah.
What's his name? Blake. No, it's not Blake. What's his name?
No.
Why did I say Blake?
You screwed me up.
Well, they got the kid out of Oklahoma who actually looks like a really good quarterback.
Sam Bradford.
No. They got the new kid. They just drafted that kid. Didn't they just draft the kid out of Oklahoma?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm all jacked with the whole.
He's like number 3 overall, whatever. He looks really fucking good, actually.
Why'd you do that to me, man?
I don't know.
Dang it. I'm going to have to edit that out. I'm like
That's okay.
Here, I'm like blank. I'm like, fucking ass.
I can't remember. Hey, I can't remember his name either right now.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't know. Well, so I think we're pretty close.
Yeah.
That's usually what it is every year anyway. So, well, I think there. But it's going to be fun to watch the season breakdown. And to watch how these teams break down and how each division ends up.
Yeah, no,
finishing
it'll
up.
be fun.
I'm excited. And the playoffs are always exciting. So I'm very excited. I'm so excited about Thursday. Very excited. Anyway.
Who's going to win Thursday?
Yeah, I'm going with let's see, now you asked me, my brain's freezing up. It's Philadelphia versus San Francisco, right?
No, Atlanta.
Atlanta. I'm going Atlanta.
In Philly, I'm going Atlanta too.
I'm going Atlanta. I just think Philly's got some issues right now.
Yeah. I'm with you, man.
Just for the short term.
Well, yeah, short term. I mean, they're going to, but I think week 1 is.
Out. I just think they've been kind of the same team for a while, so they're just going to come in trucking.
Yeah, they don't have any issues. And
yeah.
And what's his nuts resigned to? Their tight end. Because I know Antonio Gates signed again with the Chargers.
Yeah. I can't think of it.
Just went blank. But anyway, so they're in a good place, yeah.
Yeah.
I wish the names. Like we're at the end of it, so I'm like trying to quick. I'm like, fucking names. But yeah.
No, we'll have it down throughout the year though, because we'll be watching every game and be able to keep up a little bit better.
Yeah. So this week, go Cowboys, go Atlanta, go Patriots. Nobody's playing each other, so we're good, man.
Yeah, no, we're safe this week.
Yeah, we're safe. We don't have to farkle for anything on the back end. Yeah.
I'll have to bring my Cowboys gear in next week.
Yeah, see? Damn it. I can't have fun. Do it. So go eat some food.
Yeah, I got
Thanks.
All right, guys.
And we'll see you guys next week, later this week, whatever, however that works. Peace. Don't say anything crazy.